Hello, my friends. Today, in the third season, this wonderful guest will talk with us about the purpose, about how women can live in purpose, how we can live better life, how we can build our business with a better intention and ideas. Today, our guest, Kirsteen Williamson-Guinn. She is transition and confidence coach, and she helps women to really understand who they are and work on the highest possible level. She is the head of the wonderful community of women. Welcome, Kirsteen. How are you doing? Tell us more about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Eve. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. So yes, I'm a confidence and transition coach. I work with women. I help them build unshakable confidence so they can step up in their career or step out of their career altogether and build a business, which of course so many of us want to do. And it's what I did myself 3 years ago. So I love my work. There's a common theme. There's a few common themes with women around confidence and, just helping them find what's within them so they can do the things that they really yearn to do. It's hugely important. And we need more female leaders in this world. So I am on a mission to help women find themselves and do the things they want to do.
Absolutely agree 100%. And like what you said, find yourself. This is a part of my mission as well. And that's why we're talking today, I guess, because whenever we had this conversation, we found
Yeah.
so many things and ideas in common. So let's start with visibility. And I will ask you these questions in regards of that what you're doing, because I remember when I was doing my career, I was creative director and I started my blog. It was in 2009. I knew that I want to show up on video. I want to be visible, but I had my career and I was like, my clients will see me. How can that happen? Maybe people will run away from me. Maybe I will do some mistakes in video. Maybe I will make fool of me or something like that. So I postponed this visibility for 4 years. I didn't show up properly, except I was writing certain things like here and there and throw them almost under the rug. And I believed I wasn't visible. However, in 2009, whatever you published, to be honest, it was way more visible than now. And people even noticed, they're like, oh, did you change the job? Because I had such a wonderful blog design and everything was perfect. People thought that I actually got the job with my own blog. So I think that this is a problem for many women in Korea. So what would you suggest about visibility? I know they would probably have the business that they want to show and they're still in their career. Should they start visibility after they transition? Should they start visibility when they're still in career? How to start?
That's a great question because I think it's a challenge when you're trying to build something new and you already have an identity in your corporate profession. How do you do what you want to do without being in conflict? So the way I did that right at the beginning while I was still employed was I created a Facebook group, which was a closed group with people that I was controlling. So people that I invited in and they saw what I wanted them to see. Now that's a slow build because you're doing half of something rather than doing it fully. And so in the end, I spoke to my HR and I said that I was looking to build my own coaching practice and that I would make sure I was doing it without any conflict and started to, I suppose, be more visible with that identity. But I think there were challenges with that for me because I had always been visible as a position in an organization. And then suddenly I was becoming visible as me as a person, me as a business owner, me in this new identity. And that felt quite scary. And so there's the challenge around conflict with your professional corporate identity, but there's also the confidence and the need to be seen and share what it is that you want to bring, because it's needed. And I remember having a conversation with my coach right at the beginning, because she was saying to me, you need to be on video. You need to be talking to people. It's how they're going to relate with you best. It's how they're going to get to know who you are and what you do. And I was thinking, I can't think of anything worse. I never liked photos. I never liked being on video. And she said to me, if you help one person, will it be worth it? Even if there's, 9 people that are saying horrible things about you. If you help one person, will it be worth it? And I thought, well, actually, yes. So I then have this mindset that my mission is always more powerful than my fear of judgment. And that's the thing that makes me be here talking to you, get my message out, be seen, be heard, because it's just massively important. And then you learn, so yes, build up with something that feels safe. Like for me at the time was a Facebook group, but then you learn that you need to be where the people that need you are. So the people that need me are on LinkedIn. They're my ideal clients. They're predominantly on LinkedIn rather than any other platform, or they're easier to find on LinkedIn. So that's where I am. So now I do videos on there, and it's a growth journey. That's the other thing. With visibility, if you expect yourself to be out there on all the platforms, doing all the things perfectly, you're setting yourself up for huge disappointment, self-judgment, all the things we don't want. So just start somewhere and build and embrace your growth, because it's always about progress, not perfection. Yet as women, we have this idea that we have to do it all and we have to do it all perfectly, and that is nonsense. So that would be my answer, Eve. I hope that hits the spot.
I remember myself referring to myself as a person behind the camera. And I've been a person behind the camera for a long time, literally, because I did run several businesses, and 2 of them were photo and video studios. And I love filming. I love photographing things or people. And I didn't realize how much courage it required to be on camera, and more importantly, to speak on your own behalf, because it's very easy to sell for the company. And it's funny, like when I could sell like 26,000 packages for the company with no eye blinking, like, easy peasy. And everybody enjoyed. Clients enjoyed the service, company enjoyed the sales, everything is perfect. And for myself, the evening of the same day, I would be like, well, can you please give me $100 for that? That's incredible, how we're really trying to close our visibility. So the next question will be more about how to show up like yourself.
Yeah, I think the ability to show up as yourself is a skill that you cultivate. I think that right at the beginning, you're thinking about, who do people want you to be? How do people want to see you? And I think the important thing is that you get really clear on who you are and what it is that you've got to say, the impact that you want to have, and who you are speaking to. So on any platform, the chances are you're going to have portions of your audience that just aren't interested in what you're talking about, in specific areas of what you're talking about, and that's fine. And accepting that is really important, and then homing in on who it is that you want to speak to. I think when you have those people in mind, it's much easier to be yourself and who you really want to be, especially if you are working in your zone of genius. Hopefully, like most of us are, we're bringing our skills, our experiences, our life experiences, things that make us who we are to the table, and we're talking authentically about those experiences. So when I first set out as a coach, I had lost myself in my career. I had issues. My parents were both very poorly. My dad was terminally ill. My mum still has dementia. And it was a period of time that I was out of control. I couldn't do anything to make things better. And I'm used to being in control. I'm a recovering control freak. I didn't know what to do. And I lost myself. I lost my confidence. I wanted to hide, even in my corporate career. And I couldn't, because I was a leader of a big team. And so you have to figure out how much of yourself you want to be seen in those instances. And you have to share the things that you can comfortably share. But what this meant for me was that when I started working as a coach, I was very clear on who I wanted to work with. People that had lost themselves, people that had lost their confidence. And that then meant that I could speak very freely to the pain that creates, because I'd experienced it. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes things so much easier once you get comfortable being vulnerable and sharing. Not, you don't share your wounds, share your scars.
Exactly.
I could share more when I had done the work on myself and I had got myself through it, and I could talk about how I did that. And I think that's what people appreciate. That's the feedback I get, that they saw me in a position that I was keeping it together, and they thought I'd got it all together and I hadn't. Mm-hmm. And then they saw me for real, talking mm-hmm. about, my experiences and how it felt, because that's real stuff. That's what happens. We all have people in our life that go through things if it's not us.
You hit a very interesting subject in this part, which made me think, and you could see it by my eye movement, because when I'm thinking, I'm like, brain is working. So it's an interesting question, because I think many people really hide themselves in careers, and they looking for the job like a safe asylum or something like this, from their actual purpose, from the actual things which they want to do, work in their zone of genius, just what you said. And traditionally, I think in society, we were said that it's a good idea to find the job, to have the contract, it's a safe, it's a correct, it's like good established or safe situation as well. And for women, feeling safe and secure is one of the major requirements for their life. As well as I work with women entrepreneurs and confidence as well, I coaching them towards that little bit more safety. And I know how it feels. I mean, I'm sure we like share the same sentiment when we see these women actually get above their fears and they feel more confident. They're like flowers who start blooming, and it's amazing feeling. Yeah. But here is the thing, like when we talk about this authentic message, back to things together, and we talk to an individual who is not even realizing that this person is hiding from their own purpose, from their past, because they were buying this social idea that it's a safe thing to have the job, and they are potentially really afraid to go away from this job, from this secure place, to go outside the comfort zone. How you overcoming this with this message, because that's a threat for visibility and for authenticity, like strong, right?
That's a big deal, and that was that needing safety is the thing that kept me stuck in my career for way too long. And then I learned how to create my own safety. And then I learned to tap into something which has always been here, but I never ever tapped into, or only tapped into for the business I worked for rather than for my own needs. And that's about being resourceful. I, like you, and probably everybody watching this, are resourceful people. The thing is, we're normally resourceful for others. So I was very resourceful for the company that paid me, resourceful for my family and friends. When you start turning your gifts towards yourself and use them for your own benefit, you can create safety. You can create confidence. You can create a brilliant plan that will allow you to live how you want to live. You just have to learn how to tap into those things. And part of that is about being really connected to yourself. So my old career, as I said, I was disconnected. I was disconnected before things happened with my parents, because I was on a wheel. I got up very early every morning. I commuted to London. I had meetings. I got home exhausted. If anyone said to me, "What do you really want?" I'd say, "Well, that's the $1 million question. Please help me." What do you think I want? What do you think? You know, and this is what we do. We outsource our intuition, but actually I knew full well what I wanted. I wanted to run my own business. I wanted to help women. And then my recent experience told me how. So you can create safety for yourself. You are way more resourceful than you can even imagine.
Can you tap a little bit more in this creating safety for yourself? Because creating safety for yourself, it's really a big thing for the women confidence. And I think men often underestimate how much woman can do or can't do things if she's not feeling safe. So it's a big deal for many women. So how you create this safety for yourself?
So the first thing is a mindset shift, really, which is about the fact that we can create the things we need internally. We don't need them externally, always. Yet we generally look externally for the things we need. So we want to feel safe. We want to know where we're going. We want to be able to trust. Start with trusting yourself. Confidence is trust. That's all it is. So start to think about the things that you can trust in yourself. If you need to feel safe, so for me, when I made the shift from corporate, big salary, car, health insurance, all the things, into little me running my own business with a very ambiguous, irregular payday, there were a couple of things I needed to do. So I have this this process, eyes wide open courage, which is about facing into what could go wrong. If things go wrong, what will I do? Who can support me? What are the things I can fall back on? What is the bare minimum that I need that allows me to feel like I've got this? And how do I do that? And so the other really important thing is, if you're looking to transition from corporate into your own business, the most important thing for you to plan is a good exit. And a good exit is having the relationships that you need, having the salary or the income or the pile of cash that you need that gives you that safety, having tested out whatever it is you want to do so that you know it's got legs, people want it, people are going to pay you, and knowing that you can get the results for your clients. Those things mean did I say building a network? Yes, I think I did. Those are the things that mean you're leaving in a good place and you've created safety in certain ways that means you can now step forward knowing that you've got this. The other thing around that is one of the ways that women really block ourselves is our relationship with failure or setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know as well as I do, in business, they happen. They happen more than we want to think.
They are part of doing business. This is just a natural thing.
And if we do what we've done for hundreds of years in these situations, if we make it mean something about us, so we're not good enough, we're never going to be able to do this, it's our fault this didn't happen, that's where we get stuck and we stop. So we want to have a positive relationship with failure and setbacks. We want to be able to learn and grow from them and get ourselves back on track. That's power, that's confidence, that's safety. Knowing that you trust yourself, that when things don't go to plan, you will get them back on track and you will utilize whatever comes in your way. And that's all mindset.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you additionally, and I will have plenty. So, when women are doing this transition, and I know for many women, business is like nobody considers that, okay, her business is something important. Within the family, half of the time, they're like, okay, you have your job, are you crazy to do the business? I mean, come on, you have a salary, it's safe, and things like that. On the other hand, women usually juggling like millions of things. Really, like they're responsible for kids, they're responsible for elder people, they're responsible for the house, they're responsible for themselves, they're responsible for their husbands, and now they're like, I'm going to be responsible for the business as well, and I'm not going to have any income. How awesome it is. And that's definitely stops many of them, right? So they're like, maybe next day, next time. So it's an understandable barrier which not allows them to even think about it, not even start with that mindset. My question is, how to prepare, what kind of resourcefulness techniques do you have to build up that confidence, like, you know, to really feel less stressed, to allow yourself that space to make this step? Because what I feel, and I'm speaking from my own experience and from the experience of many women, once upon a time I had 700 women in my secret group. Been that, done that. So, you know, yeah, that's our thing. So that's the thing, like many women have this almost super narrow tunnel where they are afraid to get because it's too dark there, and they're like, you know, here we are in our corporate or whatever job we have. It's a beautiful light place, we are well paid, we have that routine, whatever it kill all our responsibilities, confidence or whatsoever. It's a loop. But there is a very narrow, dark tunnel with spiders, snakes, and whatever kind of things. And there is potential freedom after that. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah. So how do you put yourself in that resourceful state so that you actually find this confidence to move through this?
So probably three things come to my mind. One is clarity. What is it and why? Why is so important? Why is this important to you? And really staying in alignment, which is the next thing. Being inspired by what you want to do, knowing why it's important and being in alignment with that, so that you are thinking about it, you're behaving in alignment with it, you're moving towards where you want to go. And I think the thing that underpins all of that is what goes on up here.
Mm-hmm.
So what you feed yourself on a daily basis, and I'm talking about you feed your brain, you know, we worry about what we put in our body. We need to really worry about what goes in our brains. Right now, all we're hearing is it's going to cost too much to live. We're going to be turning lights off. All this noise. And if you pay too much attention to that, you would do nothing.
Yeah.
And the sad reality is there's always reasons not to do things. So putting positivity in, having things that inspire you and keep you connected to your vision is massive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is, and I always talk about network, be around people that are a little bit further ahead than you, so that you can feel yourself moving forward closer to them. That's so important. If your network is people in corporate who are all desperate to get out but can't see how, you're stuck with them. If your network is entrepreneurs who are, okay, they're having ups and downs, but they're riding the downs and they're finding their way up, that's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, clarity, what and why, be in alignment with it, and inspire yourself every day with what goes in here and the people around you. That would be, it's not easy. There's no easy button on this, because however you look at it, you're walking away from something that you've built. For me, I spent 32 years in one organization getting to the position that I got to, but I also knew I had to go. I knew that. And I had to create my opportunity, which is what I did. And when you're really focused on that, it happens.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much you gave I think you already gave your best tips because you told me like they will be around that. Would you like to elaborate on any of that, like the best of best tips, like, you know, so that people hear it and they actually can say that this transition from career to the business is not a far away possibility, but call to action. So please give that finalizing, inspirational, best, biggest tips.
Okay, so my best tips would be find people that are going to inspire you, lift you up, support you, guide you. Don't feel like you've got to do this on your own. That's huge. I wouldn't have even quit my job if I hadn't have had my coach. I would probably still be there. So that's really important. Protect this at all costs.
Yeah.
Really manage and balance how much of I don't want to say reality, because what is reality, but how much of the, you know, the current noise you allow in, and then put in some good stuff, inspiring stuff. And I would encourage you to watch, there's a YouTube clip of Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, who has an amazing relationship with failure. I don't know if you know the story, but her dad used to ask her how she had failed every day or every week. And if she hadn't failed at something, he would almost frown upon her, because it meant she hadn't tried something different or she hadn't pushed herself. And so she has this amazing relationship with failure, knowing that that is part of the course, that is the pathway to growth and success. And it's just a brilliant mindset. Mindset is everything. That's probably my tips.
Yeah, I think relationship with failure, this is the most important part. Understanding that definitely in business you will have failures, ups and downs and all the things. And feeling that this is the learning process. You know, it's not you fail and you are a terrible person. No, you failed and you learn one of the ways how not to do it. Now, what is your next step?
Absolutely. It is not it's not how you need to see yourself.
Yeah.
because the other interesting stat is 80% of women and girls are 80% more likely to make shame-based meaning in the event of setback and failure. So we will make it mean something about us. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not smart enough to run my own business. Whereas men and boys are less likely to do that.
I didn't know the statistics.
It's an interesting statistic.
Wow.
You know, that whole I'm not good enough thing that we have as women, that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm. That's an emotional fears which are stopping us. And of course, working on the emotional aspects are very difficult, considerably what you say, that we hear all that negative stories, what you say, protect your mind. I'm listening to you and I'm learning already. It's amazing. So tell our viewers how people can connect with you, how they can connect with your groups of people, how you can help them to actually grow this confidence and make this transition from corporate to business.
Thank you. I would love to connect with anyone who'd like a chat with me. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me Kirsteen Williamson-Guinn. And I also run a networking group, Polka Dot Powerhouse. So you can find Polka Dot Powerhouse at polkadotpowerhouse.com.
Amazing. I will share all the links in the description. I was on the networking meeting once and it's amazing community. So I absolutely recommend everybody to join. It's really, really phenomenal. People are kind, people are open, and you lead in this group amazingly. Honestly, I've been on many networking groups, so you're good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this interview. And
my pleasure.
For all of our viewers, check all the links in the description, subscribe to this channel, recommend this video, and I will see you in our next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.